I have no money. I can't pay my rent. The world is against me. I'm so broke and I'll never come out of head. Guys, it's time to stop this toxic mindset and stop thinking like a broke person. Stick around. There's this crazy phenomenon that is happening in our society, and it's called "I'm too broke to do anything" syndrome. And like I said in the beginning of this video, that is a very toxic mindset, and it's something that we need to break away from if we're ever going to become a successful person. I think what happens is that we allow the small things in our life to really just pick at us until we can't take it anymore, and then we're in a state of depression and we're on the verge of giving up. And the purpose of this video today is so we can get out of that way of thinking and ultimately become a better person and become the business person that we all deserve to be. Okay, so I think it's important to start by saying there's a difference between being poor and being broke, all right? And we confuse that a lot. So when I think of poor, unfortunately, I think of the people that are born in these third world countries who just don't have a lot. That is a situation that is kind of out of their control, okay? And so being poor is more situational. Like if you had to go to the hospital and you have ongoing health concerns that require surgeries like every other month, then you're most likely poor because that situation is out of your control, okay? So I hope you kind of understand kind of like my thoughts behind being poor, but being broke is completely different. And if somebody is complaining about being broke, well, then I have to be brutally honest that I don't feel bad for them, because being broke is a result of personal life choices, okay? You spend money that you don't have. When you do have money, you go and blow it within seconds of getting it, leaving you without the money you need to pay your bills. And it just drives me nuts because the people that are complaining about not being able to pay their bills, I've noticed a pattern, and a lot of times it's those people that are spending money that they don't have, and it drives me nuts, okay? So I have zero sympathy for people who complain about being broke, all right? It's their own darn fault, but I want to break out of that mindset, okay? I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard about the law of association, you know, that you become the average of the top 5 people that you spend most of your time with, all right? And so if you're spending most of your time with people who are constantly complaining about having no money and that they're always broke, and you're spending your time like going out and buying things and getting drunk or whatever, like, okay, like obviously you're not going to pull out of that situation because the people you're spending your time with are also broke, okay? And so what I needed to do for myself, I won't say that I ever had a broke mindset, but I wasn't thinking like the millionaires do. I wasn't thinking like the successful business people do. And it wasn't until I started reading different types of self-help books and listening to speakers and actually spending time and being mentored by people who have the success that I want, that I actually started pulling out of that rut and finding progress in my own life, okay? Like in the way that I think, financially. So it really does make a difference. The type of people that you spend your time with will definitely determine the type of person that you become. So I ask you the question now, who are you spending your time with? And are they helping you achieve your goals, or are they just dragging you down, keeping you stuck, broken, miserable, and out of tune with reality? Because that's the reality of it, okay? When we're negative, there's really not much worth living for, okay? So use your money, once you find your money, to bless the lives of other people, and I promise you that a fulfilled life is waiting just around the corner, okay? So talking about these people that are extremely wealthy and very successful, there's something that they've done differently in their lives, and it's that they have set their financial thermostat a little bit higher. Like, I know that sounds a little bit weird, okay? But a thermostat has a purpose. Now, what is that purpose? When you go to the wall in your apartment, your house, whatever, and you set your thermostat for a certain temperature, let's say it's 72 degrees. That's currently what my house is right now. If it gets colder than that, then the thermostat will kick on the heater and it will bring up the temperature back to 72 degrees. If it gets any hotter, then the AC could possibly kick back on and bring it down to 72 degrees. Your thermostat is to keep consistency in your temperature. So your financial thermostat will also determine the consistency of your financial well-being, okay? So think about this, and it's really interesting. The only people that I know that actually truly play the lottery are broke people, okay? They're the ones that complain all the time. And occasionally, yes, they come out and they win this large sum of money and they become a millionaire for a little bit. But have you noticed that these broke people that win the lottery within just a couple years are right back to where they started because they went out and blew it all? Why? Because they think like a broke person. Their financial thermostat is set low. So when they get ahead, that thermostat's going to kick in and bring them right back down to where they were. Okay, so that's the difference between a broke person and someone who's extremely successful. Now, I use the example of Donald Trump. You don't have to like the guy. I don't really care what your stance is on him. But he went bankrupt a couple times and is a billionaire again. And he did that very, very quickly. And the reason for that is because his financial thermostat is set very high. So whether you like the man or not, he is a good example in terms of setting your financial thermostat and being wise with your money and thinking like a wealthy person. Because wealthy people, they just think differently. Now, a lot of times we think that that kind of life is out of our reach, which is absolutely not true. We just have to change the way that we think, all right? Growing up, we lived a good life. It was very comfortable. But, becoming a millionaire was something that it's completely out of your thought process as a kid, right? If you grow up in a middle income family. And so as I went out on my own and started thinking about the difference between middle class and high class, top 1%, it's what it really came down to is that they have trained themselves to push through hard difficulties. They've set limits on themselves and how they spend. And the truth is, they don't really spend that much. They're constantly investing, and that's something that anybody can learn how to do. It's just a new type of skill that anybody can learn, all right? So if you think about the financial thermostat, again, ask yourself where you fall on that spectrum. Is your financial thermostat set high? Are you wise with your money? And if you suddenly go broke, can you get it back within a short amount of time? Or are you a broke person that wins a lottery and within 2 years you're broke again? Okay, there's a huge difference. Zero sympathy for poor people. I don't care. Okay, I said I was going to be brutally honest. So what is your reason for wanting success? And do you want it bad enough that you'll push through the difficulties to go out and get it? What is your true why? I've done other videos on your why and your motivation. So I would highly recommend checking out that video, and I'll put a link down below to that. But until you find out your true reason for wanting to be successful, and mine personally is my family. I think my kids, when I have them, deserve to have a dad in the home, okay? That might seem a little bit selfish for me, but that's what I want, okay? So think about your true why. Think about your financial thermostat. And it's time for you today, this very second, to stop thinking like a poor person. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video.